Most people think laser hair devices are just overpriced gadgets with a bunch of laser lights. And honestly, I get that because the market is becoming flooded with them. New brands, bigger claims, lower prices. Devices that all look the same, but they do not deliver the same results. And that's where the confusion starts. Because when everything looks identical on the outside, people just assume that it must work the same on the inside. But here's the reality. Laser phototherapy is the one and only non-surgical drug-free treatment cleared by the FDA for hair loss and for hair growth. So the technology itself is real. The science is real. And the results also real. So why are thousands of people using these devices every single day and they're still not seeing any results? That's because there are 10 important things about laser devices almost no one ever talks about. And even if you get one, the device is just sitting on your head and it's doing absolutely nothing and it's producing zero results. Hi, I'm Bobby Spence. I'm a certified trichologist here at Theradome. I've spent over 20 years working in hair loss. And as a clinical trichologist, I don't rely on marketing claims. I rely on what actually works in real life. So if you're considering a laser device, this might be the most important video that you'll watch. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly if it works, if it's right for you, and how to avoid wasting your money, which is very important. Now let's get into it. Fact 1, the science behind it. Good helmet uses laser phototherapy, also known as LPT, and is powered by true laser diodes, not by LEDs. And that distinction matters more than people realize. You see, LEDs, they scatter light. Lasers focus it. You see, that focus energy allows the light to reach the follicle level where it interacts with cells at a mitochondrial level. And when that happens, something very important takes place. It helps support cellular energy production. And that energy is what your follicles need to properly function. So in simple terms, this isn't just about shining light on your scalp. It's about delivering a very specific type of energy to a very specific place for a very specific purpose. Fact 2, more use can reduce results. This one surprises a lot of people. More is not better. Laser therapy has an optimal dosage. Too much exposure can actually reduce effectiveness. Think of it like sunlight. The right amount of sunlight helps. Too much can actually damage. Your follicles respond best to the right amount of energy consistently delivered. That's why following the protocol, it really does matter. Fact 3, more lights doesn't mean better results. This is one of the biggest marketing tricks in this industry. You'll see 300 diodes, 500 diodes, and it sounds very impressive. But here's the truth. More light does not mean better results. What actually matters is the wavelength, the energy delivered, and the dosage that reaches the follicle. A device with fewer properly engineered lasers can outperform one with hundreds of scattered lights. This is about precision, not quantity, and most people never hear that. Fact 4, it won't regrow hair on a completely bald scalp. This is the part most companies won't tell you. Laser therapy works only on existing follicles. If the scalp is smooth, if it's shiny, if it's been bald for years, these follicles are gone. They're done. There's no device that can bring them back. And it's important to say that clearly because false expectations are what lead people to believe it doesn't work. But if your hair is thinning, if you've noticed more shedding, if your density is changing, that means the follicles are still alive. And that's exactly where laser phototherapy can make a huge difference. Fact 5, consistency beats everything. This is where most people fail, unfortunately. Not because the device isn't working, but because they just don't stay consistent. Hair follicles respond to repeated stimulation over time. This is not the Botox effect, not random use, not when I remember. Consistency is what keeps the process moving forward. So when you stay consistent, your follicles receive steady energy, the growth cycle stays supported, results build gradually. But when you stop, you interrupt that whole process. And that's why people feel like it worked, it didn't work. Again, this is not instant. This is not the Botox effect. It's cumulative. And the people who get the results are usually the ones who simply don't stop. Fact 6, side effects matter more than you think. Now, let's compare laser phototherapy to other treatments. There's finasteride. It has sexual side effects. Mood changes can lead to depression. There's minoxidil. It gives you unwanted facial and body hair in women. It requires lifetime usage. You can get swelling of the hands and feet. Hair transplants is surgical, can be painful, it's expensive, there's a long recovery time. But with laser phototherapy, no drugs, no hormones, nothing entering your bloodstream. It stops hair loss, it regrows hair, no systemic exposure, and there's no downtime. So that's a completely different category of treatment. Fact 7, it works on its own. Laser therapy does not, and I repeat, does not have to be combined with any other treatment, such as minoxidil, finasteride, PRP. It works on its own. And for many people, that's exactly why they choose laser phototherapy, because they want something that is simple, is non-invasive, and is sustainable. And unlike other treatments, it doesn't trigger the kind of shedding that people often experience when they start these other medications. Fact 8, most laser devices aren't real lasers. This is where people get misled. A lot of devices on the market, they say laser, but when you look a little closer, they're really filled with a bunch of LED lights. And that is a massive difference. So because, you see, LEDs, again, they scatter. Lasers focus. A laser reaches the follicle. A LED doesn't. Think of it like this. A laser is like a targeted stream of water, right? And an LED is like a sprinkler system. So one is very precise and the other one, it just spreads everywhere. So if a company isn't clearly stating that they use 100% laser diodes, that's your biggest red flag. Fact 9, it's more cost effective than you think. At first, people look at the price and then they hesitate. But over time, let's compare it. Over time, with minoxidil, it's a lifetime ongoing cost, lifetime usage. You lose results if you stop. With PRP, you're spending thousands of dollars per year. With a hair transplant, tens of thousands of dollars that you're spending. With laser phototherapy, with Theradome, it's a one-time purchase, years of usage, hundreds if not thousands of treatments. And it's often HSA and FSA eligible. And over time, it becomes one of the most cost-effective investments in your hair as a solution that's available that you can never make. Fact 10, depth matters more than you think. Hair follicles just don't sit on the surface. They live about 3 to 5 millimeters deep into the scalp. That's where the hair growth actually happens. So if the laser doesn't reach the right depth, and if it doesn't reach the follicle, then nothing will happen. That's why penetration really matters, not brightness. It's not about how many lights you see. It's about how much energy actually reaches the follicle. Here's the truth. Hair loss doesn't just change how you look. It changes how you feel. It affects your confidence, your self-esteem, your presence, how you show up in life. And most people, they wait too long. They just ignore it. They just try the wrong things, or they really delay taking action. And by the time they do, it's harder to fix. So if you're in the early stages to moderate stages of hair loss, this is your window. Now is your time. This is your chance to take control before your hair is gone, before it's too late. So if this video is giving you clarity, and if it saved you from wasting money, hit the subscribe button. Because on this channel, we don't guess. We break down the science so you can make an informed decision on what actually works. And if you have any questions, just drop it in the comments below. I'll see you on the next video.